We protected those jobs. Would Nigel Farage have done the same? Absolutely not. And that's the question you have to ask about Nigel Farage. And he gave the answer on Tuesday. A resounding no. He set out economic plans that contained billions upon billions of completely unfunded spending. Can you trust him? Can you trust him with your future? Can you trust him with your jobs? Can you trust him with your mortgages, your pensions, your bills?
21%. That's the staggering new figure for Labour's voter support, plummeting from nearly 34% in the last general election and driving them into third place. But how did the party go from leading the polls earlier this year to now trailing behind Reform UK and the Conservatives? And what does this mean for Keir Starmer's future? Stay tuned for the shocking projections that could spell electoral disaster for Labour. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Labour's descent from political power to its current third-place position is a story of shrinking support and shifting allegiances.
I think even without reform, this government is off to the worst start of any government since Eden and the Suez Crisis in 1956. They are collapsing in terms of support. One of the arguments I made in the run-up to May the 1st was that many of our voters are people with alarms that go off at 5 o'clock in the morning. They go off to work. They work damned hard. And I think today, perhaps it's just a little opportunity for me perhaps to answer some of that. Reform really are now the party of working people.
Just months ago, the party was riding a wave of optimism, polling ahead of the Conservatives and appearing poised to reverse their catastrophic 2019 losses. Their voter share then stood at 34%, and the path back to government felt not only possible but within reach. Fast forward to now, and Labour's support has collapsed to a startling 21%, leaving many wondering, how did things unravel so drastically? The sharp fall in public confidence hasn't just seen Labour overtaken by the Conservatives. The emergence of Reform UK in second place reveals a deeper political shift. Reform UK, once a marginal party descendant of the Brexit movement, has surged in popularity, particularly in areas that were considered Labour strongholds. This rise appears to run parallel to Labour's decline, stealing the headlines, the energy, and, crucially, the voters. Hence, it's not just a story of Labour falling out of favour, it's one of Reform UK exploding onto the scene as a re-energised force on the right. One striking detail from electoral calculus projections paints an even gloomier picture. Labour could lose hundreds of seats if this trend continues. And we're not just talking about random backbenchers. Some of the party's high-profile figures may face elimination on election day. But the numbers are where the reality truly hits. Polling data from More in Common recently revealed an increasingly seismic gap between public perception and Labour's messaging. Economic concerns, migration policies, and the broader cultural divide seem to be where Labour trails not just the Conservatives, but also a Reform UK that speaks directly to what many voters feel are neglected issues.
They're the people that are voting for us. And the great divide that is opening up in British society is between those that get up and go to work, pay an ever-increasing tax burden, and then we come to the Prime Minister himself. And whilst I don't bear him any personal grudge, I don't think there's any malice in him at all, it's clear to me this man doesn't believe in anything. The new Prime Minister had to refer to his notes, scripted to the nth degree, clearly without any great feeling, meaning or passion for the job that was ahead.
This isn't just about one party climbing over another. If Labour continues this downward trajectory, it could signal a new political realignment in the UK, with Reform UK reshaping the landscape by siphoning away Labour's disillusioned supporters. Is Keir Starmer's leadership to blame for this collapse? Labour's attempts to combat this shift have so far floundered, leaving their strategy exposed. But what can they possibly do next to stop the bleeding? Keir Starmer's attempts to halt Reform UK's progress have not only failed but may have backfired entirely. During a visit to the Glass Futures facility in St Helens, Starmer launched a direct attack on Nigel Farage and Reform UK's economic proposals. Labelling their policies as reckless, he claimed they planned to spend tens of billions of pounds without funding, drawing parallels to Liz Truss's ill-fated economic strategies. It was a calculated move meant to undermine Farage's credibility by framing Reform UK as financially incompetent. Yet, whatever Starmer hoped to achieve with this offensive, the results have been far from encouraging. Reform UK wasted no time in responding. Their then-chairman Zia Isef dismissed Starmer's criticisms outright, calling it a sign of Labour's desperation. What an extraordinary press conference. It's obviously panic stations at Labour, Isef remarked in an immediate rebuttal. The swiftness and confidence of their response suggest that Reform UK may have exploited Starmer's attacks to bolster their position, using his criticisms as evidence of their growing political threat. Instead of casting doubts on Farage, Labour inadvertently gave Reform UK more visibility and a chance to solidify their narrative as challengers to the political establishment. So why has Labour consistently struggled to counter Reform UK's rise? Much of it comes down to public perception. On key issues like economic stability and migration, two areas where Reform UK has gained traction, Labour has failed to connect with voter frustrations. Many see Starmer's leadership as out of touch, a sentiment reflected in polling trends that show Labour losing support despite its attempts to refocus the narrative. Reform UK, on the other hand, plays directly to populist sentiments, presenting policies that, while divisive, resonate with an audience that feels ignored by Labour's more cautious approach. Polls have only amplified Labour's challenges. Public sentiment appears to favour Reform UK's plain-spoken solutions over Labour's broad technocratic messaging. Starmer's strategy to critique Reform UK instead of offering compelling alternatives risks deepening public scepticism. With time running out before the next election, Labour's inability to pivot could spell ongoing decline, leaving their traditional base searching for answers elsewhere. Whether Starmer can regain control of the narrative remains a question that Labour and its voters cannot afford to delay much longer. Labour's record-low polling numbers aren't just a setback, they could mark a pivotal moment in UK politics. With Reform UK rising to second place, the traditional two-party dominance faces an unprecedented challenge. According to the More in Common poll, Labour's descent into third reflects a profound loss of voter trust, a shift reshaping political allegiances across the country. If the party fails to address voter dissatisfaction, it risks fading into irrelevance by the next election. Reform UK's surge isn't a fluke. It's a signal of deeper frustration among the electorate. Could this be the beginning of a new political era,